So I'm going to use this as an example image to show you guys how we can take a JPEG or any other kind of image and trace it using either the pen tool or the shape tool or the compound shape tool and all of that. I have a pretty simple, very graphic image. There are only three colors. It's black, white, and then red. And it's a lot of geometric shapes and then some text in this top left part of the flag. So once I've placed my image, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to rotate it just so my flag rectangle is straight. And in the layers panel, I'm going to lock the layer just so I don't inadvertently select it or move it around or modify it by accident. So I'm going to start by doing the flag. The flag is these smaller rectangles that make the stripes of the flag, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are connected to this smaller rectangle here, which is the panel on the top left part of the American flag. So I'm gonna use my shape tool. I'm gonna drag out a rectangle to size, and at the moment I want it to be transparent so I can see the layer underneath. So I'm gonna have it at 0% fill and then give it a border. And then I'm gonna go ahead and create all of these smaller rectangles. I'm noticing that my underneath layer isn't as straight as I would like it to be. So I'm just gonna modify that a second and then lock it again. And then just scooch this up. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and I'm changing it. So I made this panel. I'm gonna make the smaller rectangles. So what you can do here, or what I'm doing here in this example, I'm just gonna make it go all the way to the left, and then I'm gonna copy and paste it. So I have the identical one. So I'm copying and pasting. I'm using, remember you can use the shift button, press down the shift key, and I'm just dragging it down so it stays along the same X position, and I'm just moving it along Y. So I'm pressing shift, I'm dragging my rectangle down, I'm pasting, dragging down, pasting, and then dragging down. Okay? And I'm gonna use the compound shape tool so I can merge and squish together this rectangle with these 4 smaller ones. 2, 3, 4, and then can't see anything, but I'm going to toggle visibility here, and now I can probably change it to 100%, and I want the fill to be black. Okay, so that's my flag for now. Then I'm gonna toggle this visibility so I can see the reference image underneath once again. I'm going to create the white text that is inside the panel. So I'm going to drag out a text box. I'm going to make it roughly the same size as the panel. And I'm going to type in Black Lives Matter. I'm going to change my color. I can always change it after I vectorize it as well, but just so I can see it a bit better, I'm changing it right now. And you guys need to give me a second so I can scroll and see a good font that will match. Oh, stencil. There we go. If you type in part of the font's name, you should be able to find it. Or not. It's not cooperating with me. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. I think it's similar enough. And I'm gonna resize that middle text just so it's the same size as black and matter. I'm gonna resize black. Okay. And now modify path, convert to path, so that my text is a vector and it's no longer a text format. And I'm gonna make it slightly bigger. Okay. I'm gonna get rid of that, toggle the other layers, and that looks pretty good. Now, I'm gonna use the compound shape tool because I want this to be actually cut into this. So I don't want it as a text that's on top of that layer. I want to take that text and cut it into the layer underneath. So hopefully I can do this in one go. I think it should be, let's try difference. It's not difference. Subtract. Okay, there we go. So it's subtract. So I don't have the text anymore. What the text did is it cut into the panel underneath. So it's all one layer. Okay, and it's now a compound shape. I'm going to toggle this to get rid of it. And then the last thing I have to do is I need to create this rectangle and then the little blood drop. So I think I'm going to draw the triangle just because it's an irregular triangle, so this might be easier. And I'm going to fill it like that. No border, maybe a softer red. Like that. And then I'm going to use the path tool to draw the little blood drop. And I'm using that method where I draw straight lines and then, oops. And then I'm going to go to subselect. I'm going to select these points and I'm going to turn them into rounded corners. Like that. Zoom in, and now I take the handles and I just move them around. I'm going to make the fill 0 for now, just so I can see what's underneath. And then I just move the handles around. And when I think it's close enough, like that. Like that. I think that's good. I'm going to go back to pointer and I'm going to give it the same color as that. So I'm using the droplet tool and then it's going to have 0 border. Okay. Getting rid of the image underneath. Let's go back so I can see my whole flag. And again, so I'm going to have to take I want this triangle to cut into the stripes. So let me see. I'm selecting the triangle and then these 3 stripes on the bottom. And I think I might use clip. Oh, it only did the first stripe. Okay. Well, this is, you guys probably won't have to do this. I'm going to make a copy of this triangle. When you use clip, what you're doing is you're taking 2 objects that intersect and then you're cutting them where they intersect. So I'm going to clip that first one. Then I'm going to paste my triangle again. I'm going to take the triangle and then my second stripe and do that. I'm going to paste again, and then I'm going to use my triangle and my last one. I'm clipping it, and it created that kind of mask. And that's it. To be honest, I kind of had to experiment with the clipping thing because it wasn't working the first time for me. I only realized later on that I had to make a copy of the triangle and repeat it a few times. I don't think that with your examples that I've given you, you have to do this process, but if you do get stuck, I'm very, very happy to help you out with that. So that's my drawing. I'm going to select all of my layers from my drawing, from my vector drawing, and I'm going to try to group them together. So I selected all of them. Sorry, my computer is very laggy. And I'm going to group the selection. So now when I make a pointer selection, it's selecting the whole group. Let's see how it compares to the one underneath, my JPEG underneath. I'm going to unlock it, resize it, and I'd say it's pretty good. Except for the text, it's a little bit different, but otherwise I think it's good.